Most business owners believe they can wait to learn how and why deals get done until they're actually ready to sell. But that's already too late. Why? Because the outcome of the negotiations is largely determined by decisions you made years earlier. And if you don't understand how deals actually work before you're ready to sell, then you'll be headed down the road with no map, and you'll end up negotiating from a weak position. So today, I'm going to walk you through what buyers actually look for in a business, how most business owners unknowingly give away their leverage in negotiations, and what you need to understand about deals before you ever sit across the table from a buyer. Starting off with one that trips up a lot of business owners. There's risk in trying to figure this out alone. You see, if you've built your business up from nothing, you're probably used to figuring everything out on your own. But this can be a huge mistake when it comes to negotiating the sale of your business. In fact, I've had conversations with owners who are incredibly smart operators. They built great businesses. But when it comes to M&A, they're starting from zero. And what I've noticed from this pattern is they assume because they've never had a playbook before, they can just figure it out later when they're ready to sell, that they'll learn on the fly. Well, that sounds reasonable, but there's a problem. Because while M&A isn't rocket science, it also isn't common sense or intuitive in any way. Which means, while these concepts are not at all hard to understand, they also can't be figured out just because you're a smart guy. You need to actually learn this stuff. I'm talking about things like asset versus stock sales, working capital adjustments, LOI terms, quality of earnings. These are not things you want to learn during a live deal, because buyers don't show up and explain the rules of the game. They assume you already know them. And if you don't know them, then you might sound uneducated when you're talking to buyers. In fact, one thing that doesn't get talked about enough is how differently buyers respond when they're dealing with an informed seller. When you don't sound uncertain, don't defer everything, and you can actually engage in the conversation as an equal. That changes the dynamic. Buyers sit up and take notice. The reality is, the owners who get the best outcomes are the ones who learn and understand the process ahead of time. But if you're still not convinced and you're wanting to still put this off till later, there's another reason why you may want to find out about M&A now. The goals you have for your business should align with your exit goals. When you wait and put off learning about transaction dynamics, you will often end up putting yourself at a huge disadvantage in negotiations later when it comes time to sell. How come? Because successful negotiation isn't just about the conversation at the end. It's about alignment between how your business operates and how buyers will evaluate it. For example, buyers don't just look at your business and say, yeah, this feels like a good company. They actually look at very specific things like revenue quality, customer concentration, margins, team structure, growth trajectory. And if you don't understand what buyers look for well in advance of going to market, then you can't align your business for a successful exit. So let's talk a little bit about what buyers look for. First of all, when a buyer looks at your business, they're not just asking, how much is this worth? They're asking, where's the risk? What could go wrong? This shows up everywhere in negotiation. Customer concentration is a great example. If one customer is over 30% of revenue, that's often a major issue. Not because the business isn't good, but because the risk is too high. And risk drives terms. More risk equals less cash at close, more earnouts, more protections. I've seen situations where the business itself didn't change, but the perceived risk did, and the deal shifted dramatically. So if you want leverage in negotiation, you need to reduce risk before the process starts. And waiting until you're ready to sell before learning about M&A means you have no time to tweak things in your business to make it much more attractive to buyers. But if you don't wait, and you educate yourself years in advance, it means you have the opportunity to get a much more desirable exit. In fact, this is where things start to click. Because once you understand how deals work, you start making different decisions. Sometimes small, sometimes meaningful, but they compound. For example, instead of relying heavily on one customer, you diversify. Instead of keeping everything in your head, you document processes. Instead of being the center of every relationship, you build a team that can operate without you. Because buyers don't want to buy a job. They want to buy a business that runs independently. Owners often value their business on what it could become, but buyers value a business on what it is today. And the closer you can align those two, the stronger your negotiating position becomes. This is exactly why the first step in my process with my clients is what I call M&A Bootcamp, where I teach you about all the different elements of a deal as a starting point, and we go from there. If you want to find out more about that, there's a link below where you can schedule a call. Now you might be wondering, but Nick, why don't I just hire a sell-side advisor to take care of everything for me? Then I don't have to learn all this M&A stuff. Well, yes, hiring an advisor can be a great idea, especially if you don't have any previous experience of selling a business. But there's an important reason why you want to educate yourself about M&A now instead of putting it off until later, or relying on an advisor to handle everything for you. And that is, having this knowledge now can greatly increase the value of your business. You see, the typical approach of sell-side advisors is to provide the absolute high-level info on transaction dynamics and then just inform you of more as the deal progresses, if and only if it becomes necessary. But there's a big problem with this. It means you miss out on the opportunity years in advance of a sale to tweak your business to be less risky, get a huge amount of leverage in the negotiating phase, and walk away with a much better deal. And no, I'm not just talking about understanding basic M&A knowledge like valuation multiples. If you want to have real leverage in a negotiation, you have to go deeper, and well in advance too. It's about tracking down transaction data for your industry, understanding market terms for the LOI, and knowing how a transaction is structured. And this is where using things like Google or AI for answers can actually hurt you, because you'll only get surface level answers, but not answers about how deals actually get negotiated in your specific market. So let's talk about some of these things. First of all, here's something you may not know. In the lower middle market, buyers are heavily anchored to comparable transactions when determining valuation, which means they'll look at specific metrics in your business, such as revenue quality, customer concentration, and growth trajectory, and they'll compare it to real transaction data, not theory, actual deals. This can make or break your valuation, so you need to prepare, do your own research well in advance of putting your business on the market. Now let's discuss deal structure, because a lot of owners fixate on one number, the purchase price. But buyers think differently. They're thinking, how do I structure this deal to manage risk? Because a $20 million offer doesn't mean you get $20 million in your bank account. You might have 70% cash at close, 20% rollover equity, 10% earnout, which is actually very typical in these deals, which means now you're actually negotiating three things: price, structure, risk allocation. And here's what I've noticed. Owners who don't understand structure tend to accept terms that look good, but don't translate into desirable outcomes in reality. You name the price, I name the structure. That's how buyers think. Because a high headline number with aggressive earnouts or deferred payments can be much worse than a lower offer with strong cash at close. And if you want to understand more about how buyers think before you go to market, that's something we go deep into with our clients. I've acquired 10 businesses through my firm, so I know exactly how buyers think. There's a link below this video where you can schedule a call with me, and we'll walk through step by step how buyers would actually see your business and what specific actionable steps you can take to get a premium exit. In conclusion, selling a business isn't about being aggressive. It's about giving yourself more options, more buyers, better positioning, clear understanding of what matters. Because the best deals aren't the ones where someone wins. They're the ones where both sides feel like they had to give a little. That's usually a sign the deal is balanced. So if you take one thing from this, don't wait. Don't assume you'll figure it out later, because by the time you're negotiating, most of the outcome is already baked in. And again, if you want to understand how buyers actually evaluate your business and what changes would improve your outcome before going to market, there's a link below to schedule a call. Or you can watch a short video where I walk through how this process works in more detail. Thanks for watching today's video. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.